Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, everybody? John here, and it's time to talk about Loki Season 2. So yeah, this is going to be a review of the first 4 episodes of Loki, and usually like with these shows with 6 episodes, I feel like they're too short, and I want more out of them. And like I feel like every time they do 6 episodes, like there's like a lot of setup, and for the first 4 episodes, and then the 5th episode is trying to like transition from setup to the final battle on the 6th episode. And when the 6th episode finally comes, it feels anticlimactic because it feels rushed. And this happens many times in a lot of the MCU shows where I felt like it was rushed for the last episode for WandaVision, and also other shows like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Ms. Marvel, etc. Just to give you a little background on my thoughts about Loki, Loki Season 1, I enjoyed it, and just him going around the TVA and his adventures with the mystery, with Sylvie. It's been a fun ride, especially with Loki teaming up with Owen Wilson as Mobius. So those two together, I would watch any show that features both of them, and I'm there for the ride. And this one, Loki Season 2, like I'm looking forward to it because I did enjoy the first season, even though there were some, just the supporting cast, I don't feel like they were strong enough to match the main characters, the main actors with Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. And also, a lot of the MCU shows have been kind of meh, like just in general, like a lot of the shows, I have no desire to rewatch them as compared to, let's say, when Netflix had Daredevil, especially Season 1 and Season 3. Like I would rewatch those just because of how good they are. And so I'm still concerned about Daredevil Reborn again. So we'll see where that goes. But as for Loki Season 2, it takes place right after the events of Loki Season 1. The killing of He Who Remains by Sylvie. Sylvie does her thing, pushes Loki out of the way, and the branching of the timeline just goes haywire. So when you're looking at this, you're like, oh, this is going to set up the multiverse for all the other MCUs. And so far, we haven't really gotten that crazy madness yet. Not even in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness did I feel like the multiverse was going crazy with the madness. It was like lacking the madness part. And so with this one, Season 2, it starts right off, and Loki is just trying to fix things. And from the first season, he's slowly turning from the god of mischief, like a villain, to a good guy. Here, for the most part, he's just trying to be a hero. He's just trying to save the day, trying to save the different worlds. And so what I liked about this season, you have the relationship between Tom Hiddleston, his Loki, and Owen Wilson's Mobius. It's still fun seeing these two characters come together, these two actors. So every time the show focuses on other things, I feel like, oh, what's happening here? I want to see more of Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson just together, just going on an adventure together. Another thing that I liked is the Loki here. He still has parts of himself where he feels like, am I still a villain? Just a little bit, a little hint. But for the most part, you get to see him now here growing as a hero and just trying to do the right thing. And another thing that I liked about this season, Loki, he is a god of mischief. He's a superpowered being. So we'll get to see more of him using his powers and using deception and manipulation. So he's able to just like carry people, lift people up, using shadows to his advantages. And you get all these cool effects of how Loki uses his powers. And also Sylvie's back too, and they both have the powers. They do their thing. But whenever Loki uses his powers, I'm excited for it. The TVA, it's a very different world out there that takes these characters out of their elements. For example, Loki. Loki, you've seen him in the different MCU films. You've seen him in Asgard. You've seen him on Earth. And here as the TVA, it's kind of like just seeing Loki, this god of mischief, just as a regular person that happens to be in the TVA, still doing TVA things, saving the world and all that. But between those things, he is still getting to enjoy the human stuff, like eating key lime pie or trying to figure out an instruction manual. Yeah, just being clueless about it. Like, how do we figure this out? Just stuff like that, where you would never think of, like when you first watched the Thor film, Loki would be doing things like these. Like I would have never imagined that. And with the second season, Ke Huy Quan, he's here as Ouroboros, aka Obi, and he just came out of his Oscar win for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So anything where I can see Ke Huy Quan in, I am all for it. And here, as this role, he is this character that is in TVA, and he's super smart, and he knows a lot of things, especially with how to help Loki and Mobius try to save the world, try to put a stop to certain things. And he's excited, even though when he's explaining these things, just like his enthusiasm and his passion, like you can just feel it. Like he can make reading like a boring ass textbook, a history textbook, just sound interesting. Apologize to those of you who do enjoy historical textbooks. And Miss Minutes, she gets more of the limelight here. She gets more to do with this, and with Tara Strong doing the voice. I'm enjoying just where they're taking this character, who in the end of the first season you find out she's working for He Who Remains, and here she continues off, and you get to see just more of what she's all about. And I think with this one, I enjoyed Renslayer as a character in the second season more than I liked her in the first season, because I never cared for the character in the first season. I enjoyed the character arc for Renslayer more in this one, and seeing where she goes with the rest of the show. And also with the second season, the pacing is just super fast. Like with the first season, you're following Loki, you're exploring where he's going. He's meeting, discovering TVA for the first time. He's like, what's happening? So there's a lot of mystery, a lot of revelations and all that. And with this one, not a lot of revelations, because it's just pretty much Loki just trying to save the day, just preventing everything from going haywire, especially after the events of the first season with the branching of the timelines. And here he's just trying to just do the right thing, and that's it. Like very linear, like just focused on being the hero and going on a ride with him, Loki, Mobius, and friends, just trying to save the day, and trying to just tell everyone, like, hey, He Who Remains is a bad guy. Don't trust him. So let's talk about the things that didn't really work for me for this one. Like Sylvie. Sylvie was like a big mystery in season 1, and you're like, who's a Sylvie? And you find out she's a variant of Loki. And now she's here in the second season. Like she's there. She's a supporting character now. And that whole story with her and Loki is still there, but it doesn't feel as grand, or as just the motivations are there. Like I don't really care about them being together, and I don't think they're really trying to make that a thing now, even though Loki misses her and wants to see her again. And I do feel like for the first half of the Loki season, for this second season, Sylvie is pretty much doing the same thing she's doing in the first season, just wanting to kill He Who Remains. And it was just kind of like a broken record where it's like, I've seen this before. But there are hints of her having growth as a character, so I do appreciate that. But we'll see, because maybe the last 2 episodes of Loki season 2 is going to change things. Who knows? And another thing about this for the second season, I just didn't feel like the story felt grand like it did with the first one. Like the first one, they're really exploring different timelines and locations. And here, it's very focused on Loki and his buddies just trying to save the day from the timeline. And with it being the focus, like just trying to save the day, they don't get to like branch out and do other things like explore the multiverse. Like I enjoyed seeing the different variations, multiverse, and all of that. And so far for like the first 4 episodes, we don't really get to visit a lot of different locations. So far we just got London, Chicago, etc. But like in the 1800s, and I just want to see more different locations and different timelines. And because of the focus of just Loki just trying to save the day and trying to reveal to everyone like He Who Remains is a bad guy, there's less mystery, so you're not really wondering what's happening next. So another thing that I'm not really excited about is Jonathan Majors' character of Victor Timely, because of this whole, they're trying to build up this Kang character to be like this big bad for the next phase in the MCU. Like you've seen him, He Who Remains at the end of the first season. Like, ooh, if He Who Remains dies, all hell's going to break loose. But then there's going to be other worse versions of him out there. And then we see one version in Ant-Man Quantumania. And even though he would talk about how he's threatening, I didn't feel that he was threatening, especially when he was fighting Ant-Man. And with this, Victor Timely is the opposite of threatening, and he's got that speech impediment. This whole time, like, Loki's like, oh, it's him. It's he who remains. A very scary guy. But you were watching this season, they're not trying to make him scary. They're trying to make this variant very different. I'm just like, when are they going to show Kang as a formidable foe, someone to be feared? Like, I'm going to be scared of this person when he finally shows up in Avengers, Kang Dynasty. And so I haven't felt that yet. But yeah, those are my thoughts for Loki Season 2. Like, I do love the relationship, just the interaction between Loki and Owen Wilson, and also Ki Kwan, and also Miss Minutes, just her having an expanded role and just getting more to do with, Renslayer, etc. Yeah, with the story now, it's just Loki just trying to save the day. That's fine. And it's less of a mystery, less exploration of different timelines and locations, because, we get a few places like Chicago, we get London, and we also get another location out of nowhere with McDonald's. So that's kind of cool, seeing McDonald's in the past. Makes me hungry now to eat a Big Mac. But yeah, those are my thoughts for Loki Season 2. I would give this probably like a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm still trying to figure out whether I enjoyed it or not, but it's kind of up there. I feel like I enjoyed it more than I disliked it, so I'll probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5 atoms. And so yeah, those are my thoughts for Loki Season 2 for the first 4 episodes. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.